This is Chippy from UMC Portal and Ultrabook News. I've got a rare chance to test and show on video a couple of devices that might be interesting to you. The Acer W510 I've already demoed on video. This is the CloverTrail Windows 8 Touch tablet with the docking keyboard. I've also got here, thanks to Lenovo, the ThinkPad Twist. So this is a Core i5 based tablet, also running Windows 8 with a multi-touch touchscreen. So it's a really good chance then to put these two side by side and to try and get some sort of idea of the difference in performance. Clearly, the Core i5 is going to be much more powerful in terms of CPU and GPU than the CloverTrail based W510. But let's just find out how much difference there is in startup, in things like starting up Office applications, web browsing, maybe one or two games, and a few Windows 8 apps as well. So let's get into that and have a look now. So welcome back to the studio. Here's the ThinkPad Twist. Here's the W510. Lenovo ThinkPad Twist is a Core i5 based device with a hard drive, 4 gigs of RAM, touchscreen. It's also rotating screen as well, so you can use it as a tablet. It weighs 1.5 kilograms and has a 45 watt-hour battery, I believe, inside. This is the Intel Atom CloverTrail based Acer W510. It has a 50, maybe a 52 watt-hour battery in total. There's one in this part, one in this part. The reason being, this has a removable tablet and it weighs 1.2 kilograms in total. There's a 64 gig eMMC SATA drive inside and 2 gigs of RAM. Windows 8 Pro on this one and Windows 8 on this one. So there's a slight difference in the Windows build. But let's see how the boot up speed goes. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's compress for both. Now remember, hard drive on this one, SSD on this one, although it is eMMC, it's not a SATA based SSD on this one. But it's pretty quick to boot, both very quick to boot. In fact, Windows 8 is a real step forward in terms of boot speeds. You'll note that this device thinks it's got a keyboard, this device thinks it's a tablet. It doesn't know about the keyboard on this one, so it's popped up the on-screen keyboard. So let's log in, let's do a few more app tests. Both devices on battery in balance mode, both connected to the same hotspot. So what I wanted to do is just start up Chrome. That should be a very swift operation for both, but let's see which wins. So Lenovo Twist starting up Chrome slightly quicker than the CloverTrail device here, and going into tabs that were previously started as well. So these are both running Chrome. The cache has been cleared. Let's see if we can go to Gmail. Lenovo ahead there. The CloverTrail quite a few seconds behind. Now we're going to try and bring up the Verge.com. And again, the Lenovo ahead. Now this might not be due to CPU. This could be also hotspot race as well, and this has got dual band Centrino module in it with what I know are very good antennas. This is an Atheros dual band single channel. This is single channel dual band. So it could be Wi-Fi that's making a lot of the difference there. We'll look at some other non-internet type stuff in a minute. So for some random websites, we'll go to Google News. I'm going to use the mouse pad to make sure I get the start times correct. Go. And again, the Lenovo. Well ahead of the CloverTrail device there. The Lenovo is done. CloverTrail device, okay, CloverTrail device is done as well. But remember, this is a full version of Chrome. Flash is working on both versions, so this is full Windows 8 desktop. So YouTube is another important test, of course. Let's go to YouTube. Again, the Lenovo is head, CloverTrail coming up behind. And let's go for one of the videos here. We'll just start that and just see what the performance on the video is like itself, rather than the speed of loading the page. Advert playing on this one. And this one. Skip that ad. Right. Ah, it's badass. So both of these are playing 480p right now. See, that one's playing 360. I'm going to switch them both to 720. Right. So that one switch straight to HD without any problems at all. This one's struggling to get that streaming. I know it can play 720p. I got a feeling this is due to the Wi-Fi rather than the CPU. Although of course the CPU does play a bit of a part in that as well. We're 2 walls away from the hotspot, so it's possible that the Wi-Fi on this just isn't as strong as on this. Just to prove that that is working. 720p, full screen, smooth, smooth. Let's try 1080p. So 1080p now, I'm running on this, and let's see what happens now. Obviously it needs to buffer, and obviously there's a big CPU load now taking part in this process. Play. No, they're both in play. It's just basically buffering. Let's come out of full screen. Yeah, they're both buffering. Okay. So, nothing to do with the laptops in that case. But what I can say is 1080p struggles full screen on the CloverTrail. 1080p totally smooth on the Twist. So the good old Sunspider test. Let's do that. 3, 2, 1, go. Now you'll see a huge difference in CPU power here. But just remember that tablets and smartphones of last year were getting 3,000 down to 1,000. We're breaking the 1,000 mark on tablets now. The iPad, latest iPad, is really pushing the envelope, it's turning in some really good Sunspider speeds, and we should see equivalent Sunspider speeds on this as we do on the latest iPad. This is struggling to get the content. Again, I believe there's just a weaker Wi-Fi on this. Once it gets going, you'll see it happening. So 252 milliseconds on Sunspider there. Remember, we're in battery mode here, and let's wait for that one. That should, I think, be around 750 milliseconds. So about 3 times more CPU power on this as on this for the Sunspider test. That should come through fairly quickly. Let's just wait for the scores, and I'll zoom in on those. So there's the Sunspider test result there. Hope you can see that one. And then we move across. You should be seeing that in just a second. Obviously taking quite a bit longer. And there's the score there of actually 1109. Now that's much slower than I expected. I expected 720 milliseconds. Ah, no, on IE 11 under the Windows 8 Metro application area you get 728, I believe, or 720. So based on the same browser there in desktop space, this is 4 to 5 times as fast, 4.5 times as fast. Right, let's look at program startup times now. Here's PowerDirector 10, which is quite a hefty bit of software. 3, 2, 1, go. Now remember, this is a hard drive based system with cache. This is a SSD based system, so much faster here. This has got a 32 gig SSD in it, but not much far behind on the CloverTrail device. And what I want to do is start that second time, just to see what difference we get on the second boot. So 3, 2, 1. Let's see how much difference that makes. So much quicker on the Lenovo there. Not too far behind here. On a pure hard drive based system, that can take up to 20 seconds. Okay, Windows Live Writer, which you can look at as a fairly basic text editor. 3, 2, 1, go. The Lenovo ahead there, very quick too. Whoops, okay. That didn't close down very well the last time. But you saw it was taking a bit longer. It's also retrieving a post from a blog. Let's try that again. That will be cached though. Close this down. Right, try again. Three, 2, 1, go. Obviously that was cached and fast. Let's try it once more so that both of them start up fully now. 3, 2, 1, go. Super quick here. Taking a few more seconds here. That was you know, 3 or 4 seconds before that was ready after the Lenovo. Lenovo uses Express Cache. So these apps are apps I've used before, and they will be coming from the SSD and not the hard drive. So it's actually quite a good comparison of the speed differential between a SATA SSD and an eMMC SSD, which is slightly slower. All CloverTrail devices have eMMC SSDs, which are slightly slower than SATA that you get on Core. Okay, now we're going to do a video rendering test. I've taken a 720p 30 frames a second 21 megabits a second video clip here, same one on both devices, and we're going to produce it using Cyberlink PowerDirector 11. We'll use the same profile. We'll put it into an MPEG-4 profile at high quality, which is also 720p. Sorry, MPEG-4. 720p. Standard quality MPEG. Oh no, wait, it needs to be high quality. Right, the output will be NTSC for both, just to make sure. So, right then, so what we need to do is start these at the same time. They should see quite a big difference. This is a 42-second clip. 3, 2, 1, go. Right, I'm just going to run my finger across where the progress is already. The core-based device is finished now. So done in 11 seconds, so 4 times real time. This was done in 16 seconds though, so very interesting. This was actually pretty quick. It was only 5 seconds behind. This was done in 3 times real time. Now that's all done on the Intel QuickSync video subsystem, which exists on this. This bit of software is written for the Intel Media SDK, which is optimized for QuickSync video inside. Now then, what happens is if you add some transitions and fades to that, what happens is this starts using the CPU a lot more, and then this drops behind, of course, because the CPU is very relatively poor performance compared to that. So that was just a pure video conversion in that 50-second clip, which was actually pretty much the same format in and out. There was no major difference. Let's try something else, so convert to a different format. So one last demo here. We've switched off the enhancements in this case. We're going to output to H.264, but we're going to upscale to 1080p, and we're going to switch off any fast video rendering technology, so any tricks, any hardware acceleration. So this is pure CPU bound. Rendering, 3, 2, 1, whoops, 3, 2, 1, go. So we are off. This is estimating 1 minute 40. This is estimating 5 minutes 40. So we're right down to 1 minute 28 here, 5:44. So this is what I expect, is about 4x more CPU performance here than with the CloverTrail. That's down to 110. This is 530, and it's struggling to get down too far below that. So at least 5x now difference between this and this. And when we're talking about a processing time of, well, this is a 42-second video. It's just doing it slightly slower than real time here, and it's doing it at 5 times slower than real time on this one. So this one, when you get to sort of anything over 2 minutes, really unusable. This CPU processing much more powerful on here. Right, what I want to do now is play those two 720p videos and see what CPU performance is required to play them. Now we're going to play them in the video player under Windows 8, and we'll just bring, whoops, to that side there. So we'll see what sort of CPU is required. Now we're going to have to go full screen actually to make this a fair test, aren't we? So let's just run that for a few seconds. Let's just quickly flick back then. So the CPU level down here was maximum 10%. We were looking at much higher peaks here, but not too much, 20% max there. Now that is because this is happening in hardware. The decoding is happening in hardware. It's PowerVR hardware here, it's Intel decoding hardware here. So this is doing a really great job of decoding certain types of video. Really they don't need a lot of CPU power. So what's happening is this is also doing in much less power itself. It's doing it in probably about 2 watts of power, 2.5 watts of power, maybe 3. This one's doing it in about 12 watts of power. So the battery life on this is about 12 hours worth of video watching. On this you might get about 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours. So there's a huge efficiency advantage on this CloverTrail device when watching videos, and it will run up to 1080p, 30 frames a second, sorry, 50 frames a second I've tried, 30 megabits a second, so pretty powerful decoding in the CloverTrail platform there. Let's have a look at some Windows 8 app startup times. I'll start with the mail app, 3, 2, 1, go. Lenovo way ahead there, but the CloverTrail device not too far behind. Right, let's try something else. Let's try Tweetrow, which I think I have installed here somewhere. Maybe not. Then let's try Maps. 3, 2, 1. Very interesting. Okay, let's. Yeah, actually, the two of them are pretty close. Let's try them again. There may be some caching involved here. Let's try that again. Okay, both pretty good. Lenovo was slightly ahead on that one. Let's start up the local Windows 8 Explorer. Okay, they'll both be on different pages there, so startup times are very, very similar. And across the board, I'm finding that the startup times are pretty good on the CloverTrail device for Windows 8 apps. In this demo, it's looking like even some of the apps are faster on CloverTrail. That's the camera app. And finally, let's do Maybe we should do the weather app. 3, 2, 1, go. The Lenovo ahead there. Interesting, different. Ah, okay. It was backfilling the image. Just one thing to note here when you're considering your purchases is that the Wi-Fi quality is absolutely critical. And here's a really good example. So the Lenovo ThinkPad here, which has a dual channel single band Centrino, I think it's a 6230, so one of the high ends, and pretty good antennas in it, because I know the reception is way better than many other devices I have. This is downloading at 15.9 megabits a second here. We've got the CloverTrail Acer W510 here, which has Realtek, I dare say fairly low cost. It's a single channel dual band device. It is struggling to get 1 megabit a second from the same hotspot, which is 2 walls away. Now that, when you think most of our work is very internet centric, Wi-Fi centric, having a strong Wi-Fi is absolutely critical and a major advantage. And we can't say that it's core that's better than CloverTrail here, but what we can say is that the Wi-Fi setup, and that's the module plus the antennas, is way better than the module plus the antennas on the CloverTrail device here. So moving on to an Unzip test here, and this could be interesting because Unzip relies on CPU plus hard drive write speed, and it's usually very small block write sizes. Sorry, so this with the hard drive might be held back a little bit, even though it's got the high power CPU. This has got a better small block size write speed, and so it might get an advantage there. So let's see how that goes. We're going to extract 152 megs to the same folder. So let me just get that ready here and here. 1, 2, 3, go. Right then. So the Lenovo's powering through there, really powering through. So the disk speed is not a problem here. Looks like it's going to take about 20 seconds to do that on the Lenovo. Here on the right hand side, certainly not as quick. This is really CPU limited here. It's going to take over 2 minutes. And because the disk speeds aren't limiting what's happening with the CPU here, we're seeing probably quite a good representation of the difference in CPU power between Core i5 and Atom here. So that is really going to be done in about another 20 seconds, and this is showing 4 minutes, and I know there's some real hefty stuff, small files coming up in the latter part of the extract. So we'll let this one run through. I'll pause the camera and see how long that one really takes and work out the actual difference in processing power for that operation. So there we go, that one's done, and let's see how long it takes on the other side. And it's going to take a lot longer than I expected here. We were showing 10 minutes, we're now showing 3 minutes and 5 minutes for a complete write. So this one took about 30 seconds. This one looks like it's going to be 5 minutes or more. So 10x faster on the Unzip, Windows Unzip operation there. Built-in Windows 8 to Unzip, by the way. Yeah, it's certainly not going to be less than 5 minutes on this side. So that shows you good difference between the Core i5 and the Atom processor in the CloverTrail platform there. So in this last test, I'm just going to do Microsoft Word and maybe a PowerPoint test. But let's do startup test first. This is Word 2010. 3, 2, 1, go. Interesting that the CloverTrail device looked like it was quicker, but the Core device on the left much quicker. Having said that, startup times aren't too bad on this device, and in fact when you compare the CloverTrail device with SSD against something that's a couple of years old with a hard drive, this is actually a little bit faster to start up apps. Let's do the same with PowerPoint. So this is starting up PowerPoint with a presentation. 3, 2, 1. And on the left, much quicker than the CloverTrail device on the right, but again, it's really not that bad in terms of startup times on the CloverTrail device at all, and working in the PowerPoints is obviously smoother on the Core i5, but again, having said that, it's not impossible on this device, and I actually found that given an external screen perhaps and a mouse, it's really usable, doable on this device. I haven't had a chance to do or find a big Excel spreadsheet, unfortunately, which is something I wanted to do. Just haven't had time to track a big Excel spreadsheet down, but we'll do a quick Excel startup here. Almost instant on the Lenovo here on the left, taking sort of 4 or 5 seconds on the CloverTrail device on the right. But at least the apps will run, and there's not too much in terms of problem in speed of operation on basic docs, PowerPoints and Excel spreadsheets on here. So you'll notice I haven't done any gaming tests. I'm not going to do that in this comparison. The Core i5 with HD 4000 isn't a gaming device, but it is. It has a way more powerful GPU than in terms of 3G than the one on the right here. So you can even do some sort of low-end gaming, games from a couple of years ago, or recent games with settings turned right down on this. You cannot do that on the CloverTrail device at all. What you can do though is the Windows 8 type of snack apps. For example, Angry Birds will run fine on it. The Pinball app from Microsoft works very smoothly on both devices. So snacking apps, snacking games, it works well on both. But there's a big difference when you get to desktop gaming, where this is capable of doing something, this is capable of nothing really. Yeah, you might find some older games, 4, 5, 6 years old maybe, turn the settings down, you might get stuff to work. I have seen some graphics issues, maybe driver issues on this, maybe things aren't perfect on CloverTrail yet, so I really don't advise CloverTrail for desktop gaming. I will recommend it for Windows 8 app gaming, snacking gaming, that works pretty well. So I hope that was really helpful to you guys as you think about Core i5 versus Atom in 2012-2013, and I'll be writing this up on ultrabooknews.com and umpcportal.com. Let me know if you like the video. I've got plenty more videos to do with both of these devices, and also with the Toshiba U940, the budget Ultrabook, which will be coming up in a video shortly after this one. Hope you all enjoyed your holiday period, December 2012. Looking forward to CES 2013, so stay with us. Ultrabook News and umpcportal.com. My name's Chippy. Thanks for watching.